Welcome back to Jesse Does It. Today we are going to try a DIY project. As you can see, we got some new concrete poured. Not only poured, but stamped. There was a really rotting deck here, and it was time to get rid of that deck, and I'm not going to keep rebuilding decks every 7, 10 plus years. It's time for a one and done. Concrete was the only solution, and we're very happy with the way it turned out. Now, it's not finished yet. Still needs to be stained and then sealed. But that's now our patio area. Now with that patio area, we need obviously new patio furniture, because why would we use the same old patio furniture we had? That being said, I'm gonna build a new patio bench today. We have existing cushions from the old patio furniture. I'm gonna build a wooden bench to match those cushions, right? So I'm going to set up some lumber. As you see, it's a big mess here. We got to set all this up, but I've got my lumber. I've got my cushions and I got my saw. So we're going to cut out the lumber and build a bench for us to sit on the nice new patio. So let's get that started and we'll go through it together. So today we're going to build a easy DIY wooden bench, and I'm going to build this easy, quickly, and something that you can build yourself at home. I don't care if you have Ryobi tools or Milwaukee tools. As long as you have a tape measure, a saw, and some screws, you can do this yourself. So stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. So let me show you what I'm working with here. And don't mind the cushions, they're dirty. I will clean them, and eventually we're gonna get new ones, so that doesn't really matter anyways. But this is what we got. We've got a 3-wide bench that we're gonna make. These cushions are 24 by 24. The back cushions I'm gonna make around that height, but we're gonna get taller cushions for the back, be more comfortable. But 24 by 24, so we're gonna make this whole width about 73, 74 inches. I'm gonna measure it out and double check, make sure that's right. But we've got 1x3s, so we will take 4 of them and cut them to our longest point, which will be 73, 74 inches, whichever I choose. Now, your cushions at home may vary in size, so adjust that accordingly. But basically the same scenario goes for you. If your cushions are 25, 26, 22 inches, whatever, then measure that out, and now you've got your full width of how wide the bench will be. So that's what we're gonna do now. We'll make our first 4 cuts on that, and then we can start making these sides and backs. All right, so we've got the length cut for those 4 main boards. Now we're going to cut the sides, which would be the height of the boards. I've chosen for the bench to sit about 13 inches off the ground. With the height of the backs and the cushions, I've chosen a total of 29 inches height. So I'm going to mark that on this board here. We need to cut 4 out. So let's get that done now. So like I said, my seat height is going to be 13 inches. So we're going to go ahead and mark that now on here. And then we're going to start setting up the 4 legs and the cross members there. So this is all laid out. This is essentially what we're going for here. This will be the back, and that will be the backrest all the way there. And this will be the front. And then the boards will shoot across from here to there for the cushions to sit on. So I'll go ahead and screw all this together and show you that, and then we'll go ahead and set up the attaching arms to make it all stick together. Now this is where a second person would come in handy, but it's still completely doable by yourself. What I do like to do is I like to drill a little bit of a pilot hole, because I don't want this lumber to split. So I'm gonna go just give it a little starter hole, switch out the bit. This is a 4-inch screw, so we'll have no issue going all the way through. And you make sure you're lined up. And send it home. And we'll do the same thing on all the other boards, and then I'll be back. All right, so we've got the back all screwed together and the front all screwed together. Again, this is the back, this is the front. So now it's time to start working on the sides that will attach them together, and then we can work on the base slats as well. So again, my measurements are going to be different than yours unless you're using the same 24-inch size cushions that I am. So adjust your measurements accordingly, all right? So my cushions again are 24 inches by 24 inches. So what I did here is I cut these to 23 inches. The thought process there is that I don't want to be resting my back of my legs on wood. So I want the cushions to overlap just a little bit. So I cut it an inch shorter than the cushions. That should give a ½ inch front and back extra room there. So now we're gonna tie these two together and then we can start working on more stuff. So let's get going. Again, having a second person would help, but again, not needed, right? So we're gonna put our board here. Again, I like to drill pilot holes because I don't want to split the lumber. My mark, you can't see, but it's on the back here, and we're basically trying to match this height right here. All right, so the back and the front are now conjoined. So now we will put a top cap on both sides, and then there is the beams in here. So we're gonna measure from here to here, make 2 cuts of that, and then this should still be 23 inches all the way across. So we will do that next. Let's make some cuts and then start screwing again. All right, and for me, my dimensions, this was 26 inches. So put that on the top, on both sides, screw that down, and then we'll cut a bunch of 23 inches for the base. And like that, we're done. So I'm going to take some measurements and evenly space these out. I got 8 boards to go across. That should be plenty to support weight and the cushions. Really, that's kind of almost the last steps, other than maybe putting some decorative pieces on the sides here. So I'm going to make some measurements, mark them out, and start screwing all these seat bases in. All right, so basically I found dead center. I put a board there, and then I put 1 board on each side. From there, I marked 10 inches from there to there, from there to there, and vice versa. So we're gonna get all those put up and go from there. All right. So I was just informed that my wife went ahead and bought new cushions. Yay, so these cushions aren't being used. However, the ones she used are still 24 by 24. So that being said, this is a rough idea of what it's going to look like. I do think I'm going to add more support underneath because I don't want to be falling through any cracks. So I'm probably going to double that up, and then I think we might add a little bit of decorative X or something on the side here, maybe just a slat across or whatever. That way side cushions don't fall through. And then it's time for stain. So that's essentially it. for now. I'll show you it when it's done, but that's how I make a simple DIY bench, and I think that took me literally an hour. Yeah, so, and that's with filming. So you could do this at home yourself. So give it a try, and I'll be back when it's all done. All right, well, we got the stain all on and the bench is fully built. Like I said, the wife went ahead and ordered new cushions because I told her these ones are dirty and it's time to throw them away. So anyways, as far as I can do today, we are done. And I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I just used some stain. I did add a bunch more support because I don't want the cushions falling through. And then I did put some just little side pieces here for decoration, and if we do side throw pillows, then those won't be falling out either. But it's sturdy, it's good to go. Waiting on this to dry, and when the cushions get here on Monday and we get the patio all set up, I will show you what it finally looks like when it's finished. So tune in for that, and I'll throw that in here at the end of the video. But again, easy DIY bench, do it yourself at home, minimal tools, minimal time, very easy. You can do it yourself. So I'll show you that when it's all finished, and we'll go from there. All right, it's a new day and we have the new cushions. So I can show you the final reveal of this DIY bench that I made. As I showed you before, 1x3s, stained it, and I showed you all the dimensions and everything. My wife got these awesome cushions from Amazon, 24-inch cushions, and they just make the thing pop beautifully, and we're very happy with everything now. So I'll just give you a little walkover. And like I said, with a few basic tools and some know-how, you can do this yourself at home. So I appreciate everybody. Thanks for checking me out. As always, I am Jesse with Jesse Does It. If you like this video, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Peace.